What's going on, guys? I love you guys. I've been wanting to speak with you, but have been really busy. We just relocated our family to a different state, so we got the bulk of the move done, so I'll be more consistent. And I just want to say you're loved, your daddy loves you. And what's really cool is you're not trying to get more from God. You're not practicing Christian principles to try to get God to move for you. You have a Father that loves you, and He wants you to grow up. He wants you to mature. So if we're ever coming under a teaching, we don't want to assume the heart or motive of any teaching, ministry, anything like that, because even Scripture says only the Spirit can search what's in a man. So we waste a lot of our time trying to assume motives, dig for motives. We're never really going to know. And we aren't called to know other people's motives. We're called to know Christ. We're called to know Christ in us. And we're called to call out Christ in each other. So regardless of your motives, other people's motives, when it pertains to a teaching or a ministry, if you start to feel like you're coming under a law, you're coming under something that you do to get God to do something for you, you have to have more faith, you practice doing these 5 things to get something, then you will begin to notice, you will either start going into pride and comparing yourself to other people, or you'll go into condemnation because you set up a law for yourself that God didn't set up, and it's starting to crush you. And so I just want you to be aware that being brought into a law, even if you're creating it yourself, all you have to do is step out. Just say, I'm done. Papa, I forgot my first love. It's just me loving you, you loving me receiving your love, and you are growing me up. That's it. It's simple. The gospel is simple. And even in 1st or 2nd Corinthians, Paul was like, I want you to guard your mind and not be deceived like Eve from the simplicity of Christ. In so many certain terms, he says that the gospel is simple. It's Jesus. And anything outside of the simplicity of relationship will lead you into what we would call deception, or just leading you outside of God's best intention for you. You know, Romans 12:2 says that we want to be able to know and approve the good, acceptable, and perfect will of God. So there are multiple levels of how you're experiencing God's will for you. You can experience something that's not God's will for you, perishing. My people perish for the lack of understanding. So you can live a lack of understanding and perish, and that is not God's will. Or you can know God, and reverence Him. Yeah, I know you're there, God, and I'm just down here. I'm a wormy, squirmy, low down, rotten sinner. That's not God's will for you. You're a child, but you can live that and you can experience it. Or you can recognize Christ in you, the hope of glory, and you can realize God lives in you. And God is not far off, and you're not low and wormy. He's in you, and you're a baby, and you don't know what you're doing most of the time. But thank goodness He wants to grow you up so you can take responsibility, can begin to have understanding, and can begin to walk just as He is. Because that's what you are actually called to do. That is God's perfect will for you, is that you be as He is now in this world. You be like your teacher. You can never be above your teacher. It is enough that you're like your teacher. We're predestined to be conformed to the image of the Son. He has many brethren. I'm not ashamed to say it in the congregation of my brothers. I used to call you servants, but now I call you brothers, friends. Servants don't know what the master is doing, but I am telling you what the master is doing. You aren't servants anymore. Get out of the servant-slave mentality. It's all relationship. So I love you. I'll be more consistent now. Have an amazing, amazing day. You are awesome. Peace. Peace out.